How many chapters there are? Surely not more than 20. Chapter 20, Chaos Protocol. Melli, from rags to riches. Innkeeper, surprise! It's nice to see you're back. Is Fable with you? No. Should they be? They were looking for you. You're a very good detective then. I'm happy to see you're well, Melli. Everyone was worried about you. Why? I'm great at taking care of myself. You are, but where have you been all this time? Investigating things, obviously, like the flood. My investigation led me to Morlia. Or more like, they did. Nico, Voy, and Hex, I mean. I followed them to Morlia. They were talking about mysteries and puzzles, and I'm trying to solve a mystery, so couldn't let the opportunity pass me by. You're lucky. People usually pay a lot of money to spend time with me. Why? Because I'm like famous? But I didn't go there because of you. I was following clues. Okay. I stayed outside. My case isn't about a wizard. Not this time. Where's Hex anyway? You know, doing wizard things. Like arson? That would have been fun, but instead he chose to study. He immediately wanted to check out the spells we found. Though he seemed pretty disheartened. How come? Not sure. I guess he didn't find what he was looking for. Maybe because the world's greatest treasure was already traveling with him. What would that be? Me. Never mind. He told us to keep an eye out for any time magic razzle-dazzle. But we found nothing. At least you managed to get inside and return safe. Wait, that's me. At least you managed to get inside and return safely. Yeah. The way there was easy peasy. We got there thanks to Nico pulling off a shapeshifting trick, then pretending to be a merchant. Stole some guy's coat and face, and used his reputation to secure us a boat ride to Morlia. Said I wanted to meet the real estate agent from the Medjocracy to buy the island. Thought I told them to pick us up in a week or so. By then we'd be far gone. What happened once you reached the island? I'm quite intrigued. Before we tell you anything, I'd like a drink. Something that goes down like honey and will make my poetry flow like a wild river. Nothing easier than that. You want charisma juice, and I will give you, I don't know, this one with the crazy straw. A little flower in there. I think it's like a honeydew flower. Yeah, that was a hint to what he might have wanted. Bloop. Some honey for those vocal cords. Enjoy. That's what I'm talking about. Amazing. Can we move to the story now? You got somewhere to be? Nah, I'm just getting bored. We got to Morlia, an island so small it's basically the tower's wild backyard. As I walked between the crystalline roses, I expected to see some secret passages hiding behind every corner. I almost brought you back a rose. Why didn't you? I thought you wouldn't like it. I would have. Oh, okay, that's moving on. The tower itself so high I thought I might be reaching out to kiss the moon itself. It was really tilted at about a 5-degree angle. Measured it with my paws. Bricks are still wet. I'm sure the tsunami shook its foundation. You'd think the waves would have done us a favor and knocked down the door, but nope. The door was a first challenge. Inigo's lockpicks broke. Seemed like a skill issue. Broke? Skill issue? The door ate my lockpicks. A door mimic, the classic first step to securing your establishment. Talk like you've seen one before. You ever tried to open my door when the inn's closed? No. If you do, don't use any lockpicks and take care of your fingertips. So, how'd you get inside? By charming it. Hex forgot his spell book and couldn't get the arcane lock unlock spell to work. And obviously, it wouldn't just let us in like that. So I decided to play the mimic a tune. Yeah, that was amazing, bro. Your fancy tunes are the GOAT. I was nervous. I never played in front of a mimic before, so I wasn't sure what their taste in music was. I decided to play something emotional. Something that would melt its metaphorical heart. A song of woe. Who would have thought it would literally melt? Yeah. I began playing my first tune and the lock started weeping before I reached the chorus. The tears were streaming down his face. And as if they were very hot and made of acid, the door melted away. Afterwards, the lock lay in a puddle of wood, sobbing and thanking me for my performance. It's not a very sturdy lock. It just sounds very in touch with its emotions. We stepped over the door's remains and into the tower. It was so much taller and bigger on the inside. Like a pocket dimension, so freaking cool. Except the tower can't really fit in your pocket. Bet. Hex walked ahead. Guy was really distracted. He didn't even listen to my poem about the symbiotic relationship between axe and door. For a long time we didn't encounter anything, just a long hallway. No doors, only a bunch of strange paintings. Of course, most hallways can't go on forever, so we eventually reached the staircase. After what felt like 5.5 minutes. Eternity. Meanwhile, I was outside, investigating the flora and fauna. Everything was very peculiar, like it was all from another world. The colors were different, very blue and almost spectral. There were a lot of spider webs, or yarn, not sure which. Suddenly, the ground shook, almost knocked me off my feet. Who would have guessed there were pressure plates on those stairs? I wasn't paying attention and was too careless. One wrong step and a pressure plate triggered an explosion and... CRUNK! The whole staircase began crumbling down into a pit of nothingness. Bit by bit, starting from the bottom. I rushed upwards to safety, away from the weird wizard abyss. I stumbled, and if it hadn't been for Hex, I'd be mush. He grabbed my hand and pulled me up. But he isn't the strongest, so we almost stumbled down together instead. I figured I just couldn't leave them to fall to their pathetic destiny. So I zoomed down and grabbed Hex by his collar and pulled them both him and Voy Boy back up. Thank you for saving us, Nico. No problem, Voy Boy. Don't get used to it. Didn't you expect a trap like that? After all, a great wizard would want to protect... I'm falling apart today. Would want to protect their treasure. I guess we were all a little distracted by all the gold hanging from the walls. The staircase ended in a wondrous library that spiraled endlessly higher around the tower's inside walls. We lost Hex at the bottom in the first row of books. A lot of them were drenched. Didn't seem like the tower was waterproof. There was still primordial water dripping from somewhere above. Couldn't make out the ceiling, tried to reach it though. Second story of the spiral staircase library had 3 paths leading away. Each path ended in a door, and all 3 doors were closed and marked with runes and paintings or rusty locks. I got sucked in looking into the library's beautiful murals. Each of them depicted a different story. One of them was a mosaic of mirrors. That one was my favorite. Watching Hex look at the books was like reading a thriller. Almost every second book was rigged with a trap, but he figured out the pattern real quickly. Something Fibonacci Adike. Once I was able to pry myself from the murals, I started looking for spell things. I knew Hex was most interested in, you know, you help where you can. I didn't. Mostly I looked at the small treasures lying around. Wizard had a really cool staff with a chonker of a gemstone embedded at the top. Imagine the damage I could do with that. But I also found something that was really cool. Here, take a look. It's dope, right? What is it? Where is it? What is this? It's a weather jar. Duh. Shows what the weather is like in another realm. Where is it? I didn't see it appear. I see. Let me guess. Avalon? I knew you'd get it. I found some spell scrolls. One of them had golden runes in it. Hex liked that one, but he didn't love it, you know? Then, nestled between a few red velvet armchairs, I found a glass case. It had a golden frame and a scroll placed inside, neatly in the middle. The scroll was floating and all that. I knew Hex was looking for some spells, so I called for him. As soon as I mentioned the oddly floating scroll, he came sprinting upwards, staring at the glass case. He already had a scroll tucked into his coat. Honestly, I was expecting him to be carrying half the library at that point. But I guess that would have been too heavy for him. Of course, that stupid glass case was also a puzzle. Had no lock, no lid, no nothing, just a glass in a gold frame. The scroll itself was promising blue. I suggested breaking the glass. Hex gave me his finest death layer. So he investigated the puzzle himself. While they were doing boring side quests, I made sure to stuff my pockets. Found it a jeweled silver paperweight shaped like a bird. That'll make for a great blunt weapon. Hex was so scared we destroyed the scroll by triggering it another contraption, so he suggested we look around the adjacent rooms. The riddle doors. Hex only had to look at them for a mere second before figuring them out. Apparently all those murals and runes were referencing a story hidden somewhere in the library. So he made us search for it. It was tricky. We didn't want to trigger the book traps after all. It was like the library knew that what would tempt us the most. I kept seeing books about forgotten songs and rare instruments and romantic poetry. And I saw books about burglary and fraud. Even had to tackle you to the ground one time so you wouldn't blow us all up. Who can resist a good scheme? It was kinda exciting, seeing Hex hop up and down the stairs looking for all the right books. First password was password, the second password was passwords past the password. And the third one was passwords past the password's password. You wish, but no. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy to crack, good for you. The first room was in the alchemy lab, full of apparatuses I'd never seen before. Most of the liquids had gone dry, but Hex insisted on taking what was ever left along with us anyways. Wouldn't let me taste any though. Nerd was more interested in the study hidden behind the second door. He was really determined to crack all the old wizard's mysteries. We helped where we could, but listen, I only have like 3 brain cells. The soundscape of the tower was kinda depressing. Silence broke only by the dripping of water and the creaking old wood. So I sweetened it with a little song. It was easy to get in the flow with that bomb music, boyo. Thank you? Hex didn't find the key to the glass case, but at least he found the blueprint showing how it was built. Maybe he can find out how to open it using that. That'd be nice. He was pretty beaten up about everything, though. Yeah, I couldn't find what he was looking for. Not even in the 3rd room? No. That one was a gym. Didn't know wizards worked out. Maybe it was just a distraction from the hidden vault. A hidden vault? Anything good in there? Oh yeah! More than our arms could carry. A bunch of artifacts. Most of them probably cursed. Which makes them even cooler. But Innkeep, you don't know the funniest part yet. Enlighten me. The whole time the wizard had a spare key to the tower under the doormat. The oldest habit of all time. We didn't even think about checking for it. I did, but I wanted them to find it for themselves. When they left the tower, I was at the beach with Jade. She had arrived a while ago to pick us up, and I was teaching Onyx the new tricks. She helped us heave all the loot onto her boat. We couldn't take everything with us, so we decided to head back there again another day. There's one thing that doesn't make sense in this equation, though. That would be Inako, Boy, and Hex traveled alone. Well, except for me, they're stowaway. Yet I found a fresh set of footprints by the coast, or Jade even ever arrived. Like there was a 5th person on the island. Or maybe someone was there just shortly before us. We didn't even notice, lol. Just like we didn't notice Melina. Sorry for staying in so long. Don't apologize. I think you just proved your skills as a detective. We got a lot to learn from you. What a story. I can't wait to share it with Archie. I'll be on my way now. Gotta check him on Hex and make sure he didn't accidentally take a book mimic home. You coming with, Nico? Sure thing. So long, Innkeep. Goodbye, Innkeeper. Don't miss me too much. I'll try not to. Now it's just you and me, Innkeeper. Indeed. I'm glad you're back. You're making it sound like I was lost. I was just investigating. Without telling anyone. I don't need to tell you where I'm going. People care about you, Melli. They get worried if they don't know where you are. Oh. I'm not used to that. But I care about people too, like you. That's good to hear.